Good morning, everybody. So today it's a very good day. Yesterday, last night, I received my worms, and so we are gonna do vermicomposting. Now, I have done this before in the past, and it worked very well. I don't know why I hadn't done it in this house. Um, I didn't really cross my mind, but now I'm very excited to start it. The difference between the last house and this house is that in the last house I had like a little roof, and it never got any kind of sun, and it was perfect. But here I'm gonna have to leave it outside, unfortunately, and it's gonna go under shade. It's not gonna get any sun, but it will be outside in the elements. And I've never done that. I'm gonna actually do two trials. I'm gonna do this one under a tree that I'll show you guys, and then I'm gonna do another one that I'm gonna leave under a table. And that table, I'm gonna get some kind of covering to go over the table, to make sure there's no sun hitting directly on the tub. Now, why would you do this? Well, composting with worms, it's very common if you don't have any place to start, like a big bin like the one that I started. And so if you do it correctly, you you don't get any smells from it. You do get liquid, you do get runoff, but other than that, if you manage that, you don't get any smells. When I used to have my first one, I never had any bad odors or anything like that. So I already have experience. I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm looking for. So we're gonna start vermicomposting again. So let me tell you a little bit about the ingredients. Let me tell you about the worms, and we're gonna get started. I'm gonna bring you in. I'm gonna show you everything that I'm gonna use. Okay, so the main ingredient is worms, and I chose red wigglers because they're like one of the best composting worms. And I've read that if you try to use like regular worms from your native land, native soil, it won't work as good as red wigglers. Now, my ingredients are going to be obviously the worms. I am going to be using cocoa core for the bedding because you require some kind of bedding. And I am going to be using also shredded boxes, like little small bits of boxes that could go in there. As long as it doesn't have too much ink on your boxes, it's safe to use. Now, the other thing that I'm going to use, it's obviously your organic matter, the things that you're going to be feeding your worms. And with the organic matter, so the rule of thumb is the bigger the chunks of organic matter that you're going to be feeding your worms, the slower it's going to be. And so the smaller that it's going to be, the faster that it's going to decompose. A couple things that you want to keep in mind is that, so first, you don't want to feed it any kind of dairy. You don't want to feed it any kind of citrus. If you do, like if you put like a couple peels, it's okay, but they just prefer not. Try not to put any citrus on it. Also, try not to put any kind of onions or garlic. Our goal here is to make a vermicomposting, make a bin that doesn't smell, that doesn't attract any kind of rodents or any kind of animals that are going to try to get in here. And I'm going to bring you in to show you how I have done my bin personally. I'm gonna do a couple trials. Um, the first one, I'm not gonna put any drainage holes at the bottom, but the next one that I'm gonna do, I am gonna put some drainage holes in them. So that's what we're going for. We're going for a non-smelly composting bin with the worms, because we don't want them to try to get attacked by any of the worms. So let me bring you in. I'm gonna start prepping this, and I'll talk a little more as I go. So here we are again. I am gonna be putting the ingredients now. Like I said, remember. So the worms have been going through processing UPS. They normally send through UPS. They've been, stressed, and so you're trying to get them into their new home as fast as possible. A little more about the worms is that I did get 250. I didn't remember if I got 500 or 250 last time, and so I got 250, and I believe last time I got 500 because the bag was a little bigger. Now we are gonna need some kind of bedding to put them right away in there so they could get settled. The new thing that I am gonna do this year, aside from the other time that I did it, is that this time I'm gonna use coco core, and it has been moist. It's a little moist, and I am gonna use shredded boxes, shredded paper as the bedding. The other thing that I am gonna do is that, okay, you see this bag is full with a lot of goodies, but I'm not gonna put it right away in there. I'm gonna put the worms right here on this side, and I'm gonna put their goodies on this other side. But I'm gonna put a little bit, and then maybe in a day or two, once they get settled in, um, I'm gonna put a lot more. So what it says and what I've read is that the worms can eat half of their body weight every day. Now, I'm not gonna feed them that much. I'm not gonna do all that just because um, I don't want a very soggy bin. Like I said, I'm not gonna do any drainage holes right now on this one, but I am gonna do drainage holes on the other one. Oh, also, before I forget, make sure you make holes on your tub for air filtration, because yes, they don't like light, and they like being in their ecosystem in the moist, not wet ecosystem and their little home. But they also still require some kind of airflow, so the water in here gets oxygen. So worms get oxygen through water, and so since it's gonna be outside in the elements, I made some holes, and I bought these little I don't know what to call them, like screens. These little screens from Amazon. I'll leave a link down below. They're very useful. It has adhesive already, and there's big ones, there's small ones, and there's smallest ones. So I'm gonna leave a link to them. I believe that they're very useful if you are gonna leave your worms outside. So like I said, I'm gonna put some coco core here. I'm gonna put some shredded up paper, some shredded up boxes. Now, it doesn't have to be like this, like quote unquote perfect. I have a shredder, so I was able to get all my boxes shredded pretty well. But you could shred them by hand, and you could still use the same thing. You could cut up some newspaper with some scissors. That's what I did back in the days. I just cut up newspaper with some scissors and lines and just spread it all over. I think I'm gonna go like that. Now, I am just gonna toss it around to incorporate it. What we are going for here is that it's thick enough for me to bury this. We don't want this on top of the bedding. We want this to go inside. So we're also going to bury our worms here, and we're going to bury our food for the worms here. So that's what we're going for. We're going to go try to do, let's do a little more. And so when you're doing this, you know, it depends on your climate. It depends on what you're going for. Just, you know, try to eyeball it. Make sure it's not too wet. Make sure it's not too dry. Keep an eye on it for a little bit, and then once you get the hang of it, you'll be good. Let's take out the worms, and then I'm gonna go ahead and let's make a little hole for the worms. I don't want to put them all the way at the bottom. There you go. They package them very well. Well, as you guys could see, so this is very dry now. I'm guessing it was wet before, but I'm gonna get them incorporated right away because they look very dry, very short. But if you guys could see, it's very windy, so I'm not gonna do this much. I don't know if you guys could see them, but like they're rolling around there. But I'm gonna put them right away in there just because it's very windy and now, like I said, we are gonna bury a little bit of food over here. I am gonna cut it down in little pieces, smaller pieces, but it doesn't have to be too small. This is cabbage, remember, no onions, no citrus, no garlic. We don't want it to smell. No dairy, no meat, nothing that will attract any kind of critter to come and feast on your worms. Now, I did throw some water on top of them just because it seems like they were very dehydrated. They put some kind of peat moss. Just gonna put a little bit, not gonna put that much, just to get them acclimated. Again, remember, we're gonna try to cover these just so it doesn't smell. And if they don't get to the food and it's decomposing, so it doesn't, when it's getting raw, it doesn't smell and critters don't come. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna go show you guys where I'm gonna leave them. I am gonna leave them on top of some bricks. I'm yet to take them over there, but let's go over there real quick and let me show you where I'm gonna leave them. So this is where I am gonna be leaving them. Again, like I said, I'm gonna get some bricks and prop it up on top of it, and this is gonna be their new home, just because this is the shadiest place that I could find around my home. So yeah, guys, thank you so much again for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to leave a like, and I'll give you guys updates on these in the future. I'll see you guys on the next one.